NIO with over 10,000 insurance registrations. It's actually for 2 weeks though. So look, I just wanted to have fun and lead with that. We got data from the last couple of weeks. Last week was a holiday in China, but on the left-hand side, you've got NIO with 6,100 approximately. That's for the week of September 23rd through the 29th. And then this kind of carryover week at the end of September into October 6th, NIO showing with 4,500. What's interesting is it sounds like they're not sure. And they being the two sources I checked, CNEV Post and ThinkerCar, there's no clarity whether or not Onvo numbers are included here. So if they are not, then this 4,500 number to start the month would be just NIO sales or insurance registration data, probably representing NIO sales. And so I pulled up the playlist because we've been tracking this for a while on the channel. If we go back to the beginning of May, this was kind of a carryover week, April 29th through May 5th. So sort of a comparable week. I wanted to see what it looked like comparison wise. 3,600 versus the 4,500. Now, if we go back real quickly to this data and look at this 6,100, the end of the month is typically when NIO has its best numbers come in on the insurance registration side of things. Now, Onvo started deliveries the 28th. And so that would have only been 1 to 2 days max of Onvo if they were included, and Onvo delivered a little over 800 in the month of September. So that's sort of all in my mind. I don't know how fast we see Onvo ramp. I do think it's going to be slow, but I also think NIO could surprise and it'll be a faster ramp on deliveries than what they have kind of told us to expect. I think this is part of William Li wanting to under promise and over deliver, quite literally, but that's just my thought. And so I'd love to hear from others on that. Drop it in the comments. Here's also what I'm watching. I continue to watch this. These brands are the ones NIO with its premium brand. NIO is targeting these brands and their sales. And so as we see, and I think we'll eventually see these drop down lower over the course of time, but it's Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi in the Chinese market. And this was a holiday week, so numbers were going to be a little low and skewed and that sort of thing. I'm not really thinking that this is them dropping off with their sales. However, I think when we zoom out and look at the big picture, we will see that happen. NIO is already delivering more pure battery electric vehicles than all three of those companies combined. And so now with the introduction of Onvo, things get really interesting and fun, I think, moving into 2025. Also, when I saw this, I'm just going to say something. Some people may completely disagree or think this is way too bold or it's too early. I think that Geely and NIO they are the two that I see with the clearest footprint, long-term, big picture of being, let's say, 2 of the 5 Chinese companies that make it. And this is a very kind of a short-term indicator. Let's see what happens. But this is the wholesale volume of NEV makers. That's new energy vehicles. So not just battery electric vehicle makers in China from September, but Geely surpassed Tesla. And this is where things get really interesting for those who don't know or want to look back. This is from the newsroom on NIO, and this was shared by NIO at the end of November in 2023. Geely and NIO signed strategic partnership agreement on battery swapping technology. And I'm going to show you a couple of things here. First of all, Geely is China's leading privately controlled automotive technology group, and they have actually been working with NIO on a lot of different things for a very long time. They've invested in each other and that sort of thing. But down here, this is the part I'd like to highlight. This is from William Li. He said this strategic partnership will further popularize battery swapping, bring quality and convenient battery swapping experience to more users, and contribute to the steady development of the smart EV industry. We will continue to advance the construction of battery swapping network for NIO users and improve the user's experience while collaborating with partners to launch the construction of shared battery swapping network. All right, now just step back here with me and let's pause for a second, because we're at a pivotal point. And I talk about learning agility sometimes, the ability to adapt and learn and recognize when there is change happening and to pivot if necessary. NIO is now leading. And if BYD and Tesla, for example, don't start adopting battery swappable models, they could get left behind long term because of companies like Geely. And by the way, I pulled this up and left it on screen. so that if you haven't, you can look back at the newsroom for NIO and see who else they've partnered with and how those sales are looking, because they will also be coming out with battery swappable vehicles. And in the future, if the leaders end up offering to consumers and users a battery swappable model, my question is, how relevant can BYD and Tesla stay if they remain only with models that have no battery swapping, flexibility, upgradability, swappable component? That value add play also comes in over the course of the lifetime of the shell of the vehicle. And that may be more important outside of China. But interestingly enough, it's happening in China. The battery swap, the power swap build out, the expansion of NIO with the power swap station, the infrastructure build out with the partners who will be doing things along with them. So that is why I say, I think Geely and NIO actually have a better position with long-term staying power than Tesla and BYD. I know some people are going to think that's crazy, and that's fine. I am Mr. Unconventional. I'm not worried about it. This is just me kind of sharing out loud what I'm thinking. Here's the other thing, and it's related to learning agility, which is why I wanted to highlight it. This is the piece right here. Onvo is a new Chinese EV brand under NIO. Onvo regularly releases Q&As in China, a new kind of PR. And so this is one of the things, one of the complaints that people had with NIO and with management from NIO is that they didn't get enough feedback, enough information. They felt like they were disconnected with NIO and the main brand. Now, NIO has improved with that, but they have also fully adopted a different approach with Onvo. And so as this moves forward, this is a part of what I have at the bottom of the screen, not on the ticker because that's the short term, but the long term, the three major growth phases initially for NIO. The first one remains market awareness. Customers, the consumers, investors, people need to know about this company and what they're doing. And until they do, until it becomes more mainstream, and for example, if there are shorts taking advantage of NIO because they only see it or think of it as a meme stock, well, then they're completely missing the underlying fundamentals and the fact that this company is growing in front of us, those of us paying attention anyway. It's going to become what I think will be a global juggernaut. And there is more that I want to share with respect to the shorts and why I think they are in a lot of trouble and may not even realize the clock is absolutely ticking on them. But I want to cover that in another video because there are a couple of other things that I want to be able to pull up and discuss and talk about. But I'll put it this way, just to give you a little teaser. The money and the backing is not a problem for NIO. And if the shorts have been paying attention to things and the developments recently for NIO in the last couple of months, then they should recognize that they are running out of time. They will not be able to bankrupt this company. At least that's my thought. I think it's pretty obvious for others who are also paying attention. So I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments what you think I'm referencing and what your thoughts are. More importantly, I love hearing from others. And the NIO Global community is not just the main reason I continue to do this content and enjoy kind of interacting with this channel, but I've learned a lot from so many other people who are doing research. And at different points, they will correct me when I'm wrong or point me in a direction that I missed something and that sort of thing. So I love it. The collaborative aspect of this community is a lot of fun. So thank you for stopping by, checking out the video, coming by the channel. Come back and see me again. I'll be back with more content. Thanks and have a great day.